Good afternoon. We're going to do the weekly recap for the trades this past week. You can go on Twitter and you can see the timestamps of the callouts, the alerts, or you can go onto Discord and look at the past alerts. But I think that Twitter is going to be better because you actually can see the timestamps on when I post them daily, and that's the reason why I post them daily, so you can see the actual timestamps. So let's see, this is the 24th. Okay, first one was SPY puts at 342, SPY puts at 65 cents at 932. Over the weekend, Sunday night, it gapped up really big, and I said on Monday that when it opened up, if it opened up below this 342, I was going to grab puts, and it did, and they went from 65 cents to $1.19. When you see a huge gap up like this, you at least usually see a pullback at open, and then you'll see a rebound midday. So, but this day it just chopped. So they went from 65 cents to $1.19 just in this little drop because they were in the money. Next one was BA 185 calls. I got it 98 cents at 9.52. Now this was Friday. Friday it just chopped to death. It gapped up and it sold off and filled the gap. And I grabbed it right here, right when it came back up. And those calls went from 98 cents to $2.80. So it was a 150% move just right here, which was a great call on on VA. And the next one was ROKU puts. ROKU, let's see, where's Friday? Friday's right there. I always like to look at the day before. I always refer to the day before because usually the day before's price action will reflect on the next day, or you can use it as a guide for support and resistance and how it acted and stuff like that. So yeah, I grabbed ROKU 140 puts at $1.02 at 10:38, and I think that was right here. Now, you have like a little descending wedge or bear flag right here underneath VWAP. When it broke down underneath here, boom, she dropped from $1.02 to $1.36. And as you can see, the previous day it did the same thing right here, but right here it popped, and then it dropped down. But when it broke down below these candles, this is where I grabbed it. So that was the reasoning behind ROKU. The next one was SPX. I grabbed SPX twice, calls and puts. Now, where are we? 24. Okay, now we grabbed. Obviously, we grabbed. So you're gonna see SPY and SPX looks different, but I always use SPY as a reference. 24th was right here. Now, as you can see, obviously, because we grabbed the dip, right? We grabbed puts at the open. I ended up grabbing calls at let's see, at 12:37, which was right. Oh yeah, right about. Right. Oh yeah, right here. Because I was thinking that we were going to get a squeeze. 1217 must have been right here. Yeah, right there. I thought we were going to get squeezed because it dropped, it popped back up, and it held this area, and it came above VWAP. So to me, I thought she was going to squeeze to at least 343, but it didn't. It chopped more, started to, then chopped more than it dropped. So I ended up taking a loss on that. I had the 3430 calls at $1.40. And that was a loss. It got chopped to death. But if it did manage to pop right here, I probably would have recovered. And I don't remember if it recovered right there. I don't think they did. I don't remember, but yeah, it was a loss anyways. Then I had SPX puts at 234, which was right here. Because it was chopping all day. Usually what's been happening is that right around 2 o'clock, well, at least for the last couple weeks, right around 2 to 2:30, the SPY's been dropping or getting hammered on. So it being just chopping around VWAP, not going up or down, and it just seemed like it can't get out of its own way. So I grabbed the 34.10 puts at 90 cents, and this little drop right here, because I timed it perfectly, went to $1.40. So I did not grab that I had enough of the of a day. I don't like sometimes I don't like to overtrade unless it's like Fridays. I like trading a lot on Fridays because on Monday and Wednesdays you have SPY lottos, but you just if SPY doesn't do much, you're just gonna get chopped to death. And at least on Fridays you have more than one ticker. You have all the weeklies you can play like BA, ROKU, and stuff like that. So I have more options open. So that's why I trade more on Fridays. So that was Monday. Tuesday I think was another pretty decent day. Let's see. I started out with Baba and Roku. Okay, let's get Baba out. On Tuesday, which was the 25th. So right in here, and what was it, Roku? On the 25th, right here. Okay. Now, I had Baba 265 puts at $1.13. And same thing every time Baba gaps up, and it gaps up quite a bit. Almost 90, I won't say 90, 80% of the time when I gap up, Baba drops at open, and that's what I did. And I grabbed the 265 puts at $1.13 and went to $1.27. But I should have grabbed right here, but I just didn't like. I don't know. There's so much going on with China and China threatening the U.S. and U.S. Threatening to delist China, and there's just so much that I can't see buying calls. But that would have been a good one if I did, but I didn't. But oh well. I just prefer the downside. I favor the downside because stocks just take the elevator up and they take the window down, and the panic is just a lot more. So then I grabbed Roku puts at the 946, which was right here. Now I remember this because Monday was choppy. It stayed within this range, and of course this stayed into another inside range on the previous day. But I thought for sure that we were going to get a nice big drop below this Friday's low, and it didn't. It bounced. So I did grab the 140 puts at $1.90 at 95 cents, and it went to $1.13 on this little drop. But I've been getting in and out because of the choppiness. The last 2 or 3 weeks has been very, very choppy, and you just need to get in and out. Or you could stay in and try to hold for big gains and get chopped to death and end up turning into a loser. So you just have to adjust to the market conditions, and 80%, 90% of the tickers have been just chopping and staying range bound. So then I ended up grabbing, let's see, BA calls at 1042, which was right here. I remember this. It was holding. No, 1042. Must have been right there. Oh yeah, okay. I grabbed it here because it came back below the 200 EMA, and as you can see, the day before, you get support right in this range of the 175. And I did catch this a little bit right here. The 185 calls at 93 cents and went to $1.11. So this little pop right in here. All right, but I didn't think. I thought it was going to hold at the EMA and pop, and a good thing I got in and out because it dropped and it chopped and it just. But you can see the next day. No, yeah, I'm just a couple days away. I will get to that. But anyways, that was right in here. I was using the 200 EMA. Went from 181 to $1.75, and plus on the hourly. I think there was something on the hourly that caught my eye. This is at the 25th was right here. Yeah, see right here, the hourly was the 200 EMA, and you have the support rate in the 170. Blow it up a little more. Actually, no, blow it up from right here. Yeah, right here is the 200 EMA. On this day, so that's what I was keeping an eye out for, and 175 was a nice big fat round number. So plus you had the 200 EMA on the 10-minute, so I thought it was going to hold. So it did get a little bit of a win, but it wasn't as big as I thought. She at least like really pop, but she didn't. Then I had Roku puts again at 142 and actually 142 puts at 93 cents, and that was 1124, which should be right about here. Yep. Now, as you can see, the day before it just pre-market high, and there's a lot of there's a pivot right here, and when it rejected and came below the 200 EMA, that's when I grabbed the 142 puts from 93 cents to $1.28 right there. Roku is just trading in a little weird range. I mean, it was 148.60 to, it was only trading in a $2 range, which is pretty rare for Roku. So yeah. And the last one on the day was SPX. Now, I don't usually trade SPX on non-expiration days, but Tuesday was very, very cheap for a Tuesday. Trying to figure out where I was. Yeah, you see, I had the SPX 3465 calls, and I had it at 310, which was right about right here. Now, it was breaking out over this high of day, and usually, it's coming up to high of day towards the end of the day, and SPY's just been tearing, and they have been having like a little squeezing at the end of the day, so I figured, it's going to squeeze, and it did from not very much, but the 3465 calls went from $1.15 to $1.55 just on this short little move. And like I said, the calls were very, very cheap for a non-expiration day on SPX, so that's why I took SPX. I usually look at them to see how cheap they are, and they were cheap, so that was a good play right there. So the squeeze into the end of the day. Now Wednesday was I don't think Wednesday was that good. Yeah, Wednesday was a pretty bad day for me. I had 1 win and 3 losses, so Wednesday was pretty bad. Now I had BA. This Wednesday right here. Yep. BA and SPX. And this is the 25th. Okay. Now, the first trade of the day was BA. I had the 182.50 calls at 91 cents. You have this little consolidation range right here, and it gapped down, it came back up, and it looked like it was going to burst right through the 200 EMA, and I grabbed the 182.50 calls at 941. Is when it dropped down and came back up, and that's when I ended up grabbing it, and she just dumped. So that was the first loss of the day. I really thought she was going to break out over this 175 area where it couldn't yesterday, but it didn't. It failed, dropped more, than it just stayed down below the 20 EMA and stuff like that. So that was the first loss. And the next one was SPX. I had 34.40 puts at 11.18, which was right here. Now I remember this. I grabbed the 34.40 puts right here. Let's bring up SPY next to it. I always refer to SPY because I can see it clearly. Okay. Now SPY, it was right. What time was it? I gotta look at the timestamp again. 11:18. So it should have been right here. Yeah, right here. See where it. Get this pre-market right here. It came up, popped just a little bit, and it looked like it was giving me like a false breakout, fake out, you know what I mean? And it came back down, had this big red candle, bearish engulfing right here, and that's where I grabbed it, and she just ripped the other way. As soon as she made that one that one red candle, she just reversed and went against me right away. When on the SPX chart, it was right here. So yeah. The next one was BA calls again. I made 2 calls on BA, and they were both losers. Where are you? 26 right there. Now I grabbed the 182.50 calls at 11.28, which was right here. Now, they ended up going green quickly, but they chopped and killed it. I was like, waiting for a bigger move, and I didn't want to I really had BA. I really thought BA was gonna like have a strong move, and it didn't. I mean, it got over this 175 area. It was gonna take off. So obviously, I took the loss first thing in the morning. Then I saw it come down here and doing like a U kind of bottoming on the 10-minute, and when it got up to over the 172 areas where I grabbed the calls thinking it was going to pop, and it started to, then it chopped, and it started to, then it just fizzled and chopped its way, and it ended up being a loss, and that was something I wasn't too happy about. Then I ended up grabbing the last trade. That was a loss, so my only winner of the day on Wednesday was the SPX, which ended up being a good trade. Ended up being a really good trade to help me my loss. Now, let's see, I grabbed 34.60 puts at $1.35 at 118, which was right here. This time, as soon as it broke, because usually you can see when SPY likes to break out, like right here we have an ascending triangle, it likes to pop out then quickly reject, or like to do a false breakout all the time, then come back up and retest it again. So as soon as I saw that, I grabbed it, and they ended up going from $1.35 to $2.13 right here on this little drop. So yeah, you can see it a lot on SPX, that it got right here, broke out really quick, then it slammed, and it right here it broke out, but it didn't really slam, but it came back down. So right here did the same thing, it broke out and it pulled back. So that's what SPY likes to do. So, or SPX, which is the spider. So that wraps up Wednesday. Thursday was let's see. Now, Wednesday I grabbed SPY Friday puts, which was 8.28. I grabbed the 344 puts at 95 cents for a hold on Wednesday night, because Powell was speaking in the morning. And usually Powell just trashes the market, and I was expecting him, as he had that Jackson Hole thing going on, and he was speaking at 9:10, so I figured, okay, 9:10, he's gonna, the move is already gonna happen before options even open. So I grabbed puts anticipating a big gap down, or at least a gap down, and it didn't happen. So that was the overnight loss on SPY. Then I ended up taking, let's see, took ROKU a couple times. Let's see, as you can see right here, yeah, this is right where it started to, where Powell was talking, dropped, the pop, dropped back down. It just didn't really do anything. So that was the loss. Now I had ROKU. Let's see, 26th. No, this is the 27th. Okay. Okay, I had ROKU calls, 172.50 calls at 88 cents. Now, ROKU just dipped down, and when it came and broke back up, I grabbed the calls, and they went from 88 cents to $1.60 right here. The calls were pretty cheap. Now, I wasn't anticipating it to break out over the 167, so this was just a quick move. And as soon as it rejected, because I had this little resistance line right here at 164.74. So when it popped up over this, I got out, and when it started to reject, I flipped to the other side really quickly. As you can look at the timestamps, at 9:40 I was in calls, and at 10 o'clock I was in puts. So at I had ROKU 157.50 puts at $1, and they ended up going from let's see, I grabbed it right here. So they went from $1 to $1.21 right there. And now I was, instead of the chop right here, I had like a little descending wedge, because I got the calls here, then I got the the puts on that little drop, and I ended up getting out on that little drop because Roku's just, besides this day right here, it's been chopping from the previous days. I mean, look, it's like had a $2 range. So usually what happens is after a strong move that it will either drop big or it will consolidate. So when it popped, I got out. When it dropped, I got out. So I did end up grabbing Roku again for the third time at 1042, which was right about right here. And it started to break down because I got out here on the first put, and then it started to have this like descending wedge, and I grabbed it right there, and I grabbed the 155 puts instead of the 157.50s because they're a little cheaper meaning they if it dropped bigger it'd have a good move, but it wouldn't be as much risk. So right here they end up going from 60 cents to $1.17, and as you can see, it bounced right off the 200 EMA on the 10-minute time frame. So you got to pay attention to the moving averages because they love the moving averages. Then I end up grabbing Walmart calls. Now Walmart had news that they were going to go partnership with Microsoft and TikTok, and to me, I kind of scratched my head and I was just like, yeah, whatever. That's been the theme all week long, that everyone's like trying to say they're going to get TikTok and they're going to put a bid in for it, and their stock skyrockets, and then nothing happens or it fizzles out. And the next day, some other stocks is taking an interest, and it's Oracle, it's Microsoft, it's Google, it's Walmart, it's Netflix. I mean, it's just like blockchain. Everyone's trying to like say that they have it so they can inflate their stock price, which was kind of laughable. But anyways, I have a news scanner in the room that calls out news, and as soon as I heard Walmart and TikTok, I jumped in the calls. So I grabbed the 138 calls at 11:26, and I put in the room. I said it's risky, I'm chasing. So this big move's already happened. I grabbed it when the news dropped. I mean, you even if you had Walmart in the call actually up and open, you still would have missed this big move right here because it happened too fast. But I ended up grabbing it right here. So they went from 82 cents to $2.69 on Walmart. So on that TikTok news. So that was behind that. That was a news play that was really good. Then I ended up grabbing the last call of the day was SPY puts, which was I grabbed the 347 puts at 90 cents at 12:14, which should be right here. Yeah, right in here. When it went below, when it pushed through the VWAP and moving averages, I grabbed the 347 puts at 90 cents in this little drop right here. Went to $2.26 on this drop. So yeah, that was the Thursday that I ended up finishing 5 wins and 1 losses on Thursday. And then yesterday I traded quite a bit. A challenge count, which is just getting destroyed because I have the rule that if I get in it and it can't go 100%, it's a loss. So basically, not only do I have to be right, but I also have to have it 100% right. I mean, it has to go 100%. And I've had quite a few tickers in the challenge account be right, but not go 100%. Like last week, I had 2 losses on it, I believe, and they were both winners, but yet they didn't go quite 100%. They came close, and that's been frustrating. That, you know, I think one of them, ROKU, went like 95%. It didn't go 100%, so therefore I couldn't take it. So I got to stay within the rules. Got to put money where your mouth is. But anyways, I started out with on the challenge account 165 puts on ROKU, which was right here. I grabbed it at 950. I grabbed it right at the 170 area. Now I believe I was looking at right there. This is what I was looking at right over here, right around this 170 area. It has a hard time getting over it. Let's look at the 4 hour. See, but that went against me. So that took a loss. That one went to 0. Then the next one was BA puts. Okay. Move SPY over because SPY was next on the list. Break it out just a little bit. Okay, then we had BA puts at 9:31, which was Friday, right here. Now BA, I mean, it just lost everything on Friday on that pop. So and that's weird because I was waiting for this move and it happened, and I didn't want to chase it because it had news or something. So I didn't chase it. I didn't want to chase it. Every time I seemed to chase BA, I end up taking a loss, so I just ignored it. But the next day, when she sold off on Friday, she gapped up and she started to sell off. I grabbed it underneath the pre-market low. I grabbed it right at open. I grabbed the 172.50 puts at 72 cents, and that little drop. They went from 72 cents to $1.45. Then I am grabbing SPY puts at 10:09, which was right about right here. Must have been right there, right in this little area. I grabbed the 348 puts at 69 cents. Now, as you can see, like a little head and shoulders right here, which I was keeping an eye on, and it dropped, and I didn't grab that because I was in BA. Then it came back up. I was already out of BA, and it started to consolidate. And as soon as it got right in here, I grabbed the puts, and they went from 69 cents to 82. I mean, just a small little push, but it is what it is. Then I ended up grabbing ROKU puts again. I grabbed them. I grabbed the 170 at 74 cents, and I grabbed them at 10.24, which was right here at this 175. Because I remember saying in the room, if it gets up at 175, I'm gonna grab them, and I did. And then when it started to show weakness, and I held on to them because, I mean, obviously Lotto Friday, it's 0-0, and I held through the consolidation. This little drop, I mean, if this drop happened back here when I was actually in it, when it first came in, it probably would have gone 100%, but it didn't. So they went from 74 to 85 cents. So at that point, when they turned green, and as soon as they turned green, I was able to take a little bit of profit. I got out. The next one was Tesla. Oh, this was a good one. This was a fun one to take. Tesla. There was a couple on Tesla I could have taken, but I didn't do it. But I'll be watching Tesla next week to see how it reacts to the split and stuff like that. But yeah, I grabbed Tesla 2350 calls at 95 cents, and I grabbed it right here. Now the reason I grabbed it here, I heard on my new scanner I have on voice say that Tesla was selling off and going at going at day lows. That I grabbed it because every time Tesla ends up having a big sell, it rebounds fast. So I grabbed the 2350 calls. It was at 1252, so it was this candle right here, and I grabbed it down here and that little pop right there. So I went from 95 cents to $1.96, so 100% just in this one green candle right there. And I saw it down here, and I was going to grab it down here, and I should have, and I could have had another 100% plus winner right there, but I didn't. So I ended up grabbing SPX puts right here at 124. Back it up just a little bit. 124, which was right here. Now, like I said, it's a lot of resistance here, and though let's see, showing SPY, you have a lot of resistance right here. This the 349.75 area. So, and when it had this little red candle right there, I waited for down here, and I grabbed the 34.70 puts at 80 cents, and just this little drop, she went from 80 cents to $1.35. So that was a quick little push down, and I ended up grabbing that. Then I had ROKU puts and Lulu puts. ROKU and Lulu. Okay, now Roku, I had puts. I've had Roku puts 3 times, didn't I, that day? 2 times. Yeah, 3 times because of my challenge account. Okay. Then I had Roku puts again at 213, which was right. Oh yeah, it was right here because it was having a descending wedge right there, descending triangle right there, and I timed it perfect, and they went from 50 cents to 65. I mean, right here, I just, anytime I was slightly green, I just got out because it just, nothing was seemed to really have any major, was dumping. Everything was kind of like chopping around. So then I had the last trade was on Friday, was Lulu 375 puts at in the day. It was a super lotto. That was my second loss on Friday. Now, what I was seeing on Friday was Lululemon was just in this little tight area, and it was trading at 377. And as you can see, it doesn't take much. 1 or 2 red strong candles. I mean, this is 382. I mean, that dropped $3 right there, and this dropped quite a bit right there. I mean, it drops quite a bit. I mean, you get a little bit of downside. It can drop $3 or $4, $5 in a candle or two. And when it was 377, and it was showing like support and like a descending triangle right here, that it was at 377 and the 375 puts were 25 cents. I was thinking, okay, that's not much of a drop right there, and that could like quadruple them, like send them to $1 plus easily if this drops. So I thought, okay, that'd be a good risk reward at the end of the day. If just too bad that this move didn't happen right here, because that would have sent them, but it didn't. It is what it is. So to me, I thought that was a good risk reward lotto play right there, but it didn't pan out. So oh well. But that's gonna do it for the weekly recap. I hope this has helped and give you more of an insight of what I'm doing and how I look at things. Pay attention to the moving averages, pay attention to patterns, pay attention to the previous day's close, which is these white lines I have on my chart. Support and resistance and patterns and previous day's actions. I mean, you got to account for everything. You got to look at the big picture and act accordingly. So the purpose of these weekly videos is to show you what I'm seeing and why I took them, and to hopefully expand your knowledge. And also, I also can, when you're trading, it's always hindsight 2020. So you don't know how far things are going to go or what's going to happen. You just see something and see if it goes the way it does. And then when you do a weekly recap, I'm like, oh, I saw this. I should have done this differently. But I see my mistakes, so I'm pointing out to you how I trade. So that works out for both of us. So make sure you subscribe and like the video, please. And thanks for watching.